So, hi, Andy. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. It's sunny finally, and I'm so glad that we're talking today. So, we're going to talk about MBSR. So, what can you tell me about the MBSR course?
Well, MBSR, the first thing I'd like to tell you is that it's been around for quite a while. It's been around for about 40 years. And in a way, this is kind of the original course that created, the secular mindfulness buzz that's been going on for a couple of decades now. And the reason for that is the course is really experiential, it's engaging, and it works. It really gives people a, a deep and authentic understanding about what mindfulness is about. It's different from just listening to an app, and you can really get the full benefit of what it means to start to be more fully present in your life and to deal with your challenges, the challenges you're facing, and also to enjoy the joys that you have in your life in a deeper and more connected way. And that means it's a substantial course. It's 8 weeks, one class a week, 2.5 hours. And then there's one day that we spend actually from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Doing mindfulness exercises. That's called the all day. And through all of this experience, people really get to get a sense for what mindfulness is about and the effect that it can really have on their lives.
Wow, that sounds like really something. It's amazing. I know that, when I did the course, I did it online, but it must be really incredible as an experience to do it in person.
Yeah, I mean, these days it's really a privilege, honestly, to be able to do it in person. And the connections and the dialogue that happens online works really well. As you know, it can be very powerful. But in person is so different because just like before class and after class, people talk and they connect and they share experiences, and you get a real sense of each other. And that's definitely an added dimension that you experience when you're in person.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So how long have you been teaching this course?
Well, I've been teaching since 2012. My wife and I, we actually took the course together in 2011, and she was working with some chronic pain issues at the time, actually, chronic pain and chronic fatigue, and we took it together. And as soon as we took it, we knew that it was going to be super helpful, and we also knew that we wanted to become teachers. So started right into the teacher program and started teaching a year later, and there's a couple of years right before the pandemic that I was pretty busy and I didn't teach, but besides that, I've been teaching for over a decade.
So how many courses, how many courses, full courses have you taught, would you say?
Uh,
Just
that's
ballpark it. You don't have
Well,
to.
yeah. So they're 8 week courses. I don't usually teach more than one at a time. So, I'm generally teaching, maybe three courses a year, 3 to 4 courses a year. So it's been, I'd say, maybe 30 courses. You know,
I would imagine that you can't do more than one at a time because it's a pretty intense experience for both the instructor and the student.
it is. And I mean, I do it. I mean, I don't have to do it that often, because it's part of what I do. It's not my full-time job, and I
Mhm.
do it in the evening. Well, I do it during the daytime too, but I do it as much for my own practice as for my students because I'm really kind of on the journey with them, and I want to keep it that way. I don't want it to be something that um, I am ever thinking, oh no, I got to teach another course, and that hasn't
Right.
happened so far. And so I like to space them out and give each course my full attention.
Well, I guess that leads me to wondering, what is your general approach or, your philosophy towards meditation practice?
hmm hmm Well, I mean, the first thing I'd say is that, there's two things that we can talk about. One is meditation and the other is mindfulness, right?
Right.
And I think it's helpful actually for people to understand the difference a little bit too. Um,
Interesting.
and how they're similar.
Right.
Because mindfulness is about, being fully present with your experience, right? With an attitude of openness and curiosity. It's being fully connected with what's going on in your life right here and right now, whether it's nice or difficult. Um, and meditation is also a form of mindfulness, but it's like an intense form of a very focused form of mindfulness. And it's like going to the gym, actually. Like if you want to be more fully present and engaged in your life and more resilient throughout the day, you practice meditation in the morning. The same way you would if you want to have more energy to run up the stairs or carry in the groceries during the day, you work out in the morning. And so they're connected in that way. And mindfulness is really not different from, we can be mindful in any moment of the day if we choose. And by practicing mindfulness, by building these muscles, it just makes it easier and it makes it kind of start to seep into your day.
I understand. And I do both of those things in the morning, both meditation practice and exercise in the morning. And I agree with you 100%. I think mornings are the best time to do both of these things. But I guess everybody's different though,
Yeah.
right? So some people, would say, oh, well, I want to go to the gym at night, or I want to have my mindfulness practice in the evening. But I mean, for me personally, it works out better in the morning. So I'm right there with you on that. I think that's a wonderful thing. So um, back to like, teaching the course, and you've taught so many of these courses. So really tell me, what is it that you love about teaching this course?
Well, um, the first thing I'll mention is what I said before, which is I don't only teach it, I'm like on the journey every time. And I feel very connected to the class. It's like we're all going together to learn mindfulness through these different exercises and these different practices that we learn. So I find that, really refreshing personally, and I think it allows me to kind of give my whole self, give myself over to the class. It's not like I'm here and you're there. It's like we're all kind of doing this together. Um, Besides that, I really think that the changes that people experience are really inspiring. To see how what people report. And usually people will notice things that when they don't expect it or in a way they don't expect it. They may say, "Oh, I ran into someone who I've always found really annoying and difficult to deal with, and it was just easier." you know or sometimes one person I had once said, well, i've I've noticed that I feel a lot less stressed, but I've also noticed that my cat is not having panic attacks anymore. So, or my colleague or my spouse has said something to me. So it's so interesting and wonderful to see how it's not like learning a skill and practicing it and using it. It's kind of like seeps in, like I said, into your experience, and it can be really profound. It can change the way people work with the challenges that they face, whether they're everyday stress, burnout, anxiety, um, or whether they're clinical depression or anxiety, or chronic pain. This course offers something for all these people, and it's just really inspiring to see those changes happen.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I know that I took it in 2021 um because I was burnt out.
Yeah.
And that's really the reason why I I came across it. I found the course and I said, this is what I need right now. And that was really just so helpful to me. And there was definitely a transformative element to it. So I will attest to that being just the reason why I love this course.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that, if people have the time to invest and can do this course, they should do it because
Hmm.
it's worth it 1,000%.
Hmm.
So who are the typical students for this course?
Yeah, well, we talked about, a couple of different types of students already. But I would echo what you just said in that this can be helpful for people um, who are just looking to kind of self-actualize. Things are going fine, and maybe they're on a journey um, to just become the best possible version of themselves, or it can be for people who feel everyday stress and anxiety, and they notice maybe they're getting a little short, they easily aggravated, and they don't appreciate those kind of qualities, and they may be causing problems for them. Kind of everyday stress that we experience, when you're kind of not at your best, and it happens to all of us. And it can also be for people who have anxiety and depression, or maybe mild versions of that, or maybe clinical versions of that. Again, these things are very common. They come and go, and sometimes, we sit with them, we struggle with them for a while. And a lot of people come to MBSR who are seeing a therapist, or who might be on medication, and this is a great benefit. And also, like I said, it's really helpful for almost anybody, I would say. Um, the only thing I would say is that you mentioned this as well, Teresa, just a minute ago. We want to make sure that it's the right time for folks to take it, because it could be that you're feeling a lot of pressure in your life and you could benefit from this. But right now, maybe you don't have the time to devote. You think, oh, I'll make this happen. I'll make these classes work. But it really takes a little bit of commitment to say, I'm going to give this a try. As we ask people to practice at home daily, and you need to be able to do that. So it's got to be the right thing, and it's also got to be the right time for you to do it to get the most out of it.
So people who are interested in this course, um, do have some fundamental level of awareness of their behavior and why they would need this course. Would you say
Generally, people know
something's
that
off?
something's off. They definitely know that. Now, they may not be convinced that mindfulness is the solution. You know, Sometimes people take this course because they've tried a lot of other things and nothing's working. So, let's say, I don't know what this is. I don't know where it's going, but I'm willing to give it a try. I'm willing to really give it a try and see if it can help. You know.
So
But
it makes, yeah.
the other thing I'll say, Teresa, is we also get people who've been meditating for a long time, who already have a meditation practice or a yoga practice, or are really committed to holistic health, and they want to do this to kind of take things to the next level, to get a different kind of take, a different kind of experience, because they've heard about the structure and the benefits of the course, and they want to experience it for themselves.
So do you find in your experience teaching this course that the students in person, learn from each other as well as from you and themselves?
Definitely, definitely. I would say the number one teacher in the MBSR course, number one is yourself. You know, what we what MBSR is, it creates a container, an environment where you can be both the teacher and the student. You learn from your own experience. You observed yourself in a different way, and you notice your habits, and you notice your responses, and you notice your experiences, and you learn from that. The next teacher is the people who are in the class with you, you know, who are sharing what's going on for them and offering insights in small groups or in large groups. And then finally, there's the teacher, myself, who's kind of bringing up the rear or leading the front a little bit, But a lot of the learning happens, within that group. And I definitely play a role, but yeah, people definitely support themselves and each other.
So is this might be some of the ways that you just mentioned that students taking this course can benefit the most from this course, by showing up, doing the work, being
Hmm.
open,
Hmm.
and by, you know, being the student and the teacher
Yeah.
for their own experience.
Yeah. And I mean, in terms of getting the most out of the course, to be open to that, to be open to exploring your own experience, the nice things and the challenging things too, being open to learning from others, you know. But another important thing is to kind of commit to the course and to trust the process in a way, you know. Um, it's as you know, Teresa, it's not a small commitment. It's one evening or one half of a day, for each week, and then a whole day, a Saturday or Sunday, sometime in the middle of the course, and then an amount of time every day that you need to practice. So what I say is you've made a commitment to this course, and the one thing you want to do is get the most out of it, because you're here now. You're probably not going to take it again. This is your chance. And it's not the kind of thing where you want to stop after the second class and say, it's not really working out. I'm going to go try something else.
Yeah,
You have to kind of let it play out and let it run its course. Uh, it's kind of like, as I'm talking, it's kind of like an antibiotic. You don't want to stop it after the second day. You need to
exactly.
go through the whole course and let the judgment happen at the end. At the end, you can decide, is this something that's helpful for me or not? I, I'm confident it'll be valuable. And at the end of the course, you can decide how you want to take it forward.
But this is a commitment, but it's, a person taking this course can look at it as a commitment to oneself,
Yes, yes,
which is so powerful, because so often we are committing to our job, we're
yeah,
committing to, you know, raising your family, you commit to walking your dog.
yeah.
But it's like, how often do we say, no, I'm going to commit to a couple of hours a week that I'm going to take for myself?
Hmm.
There's,
And
it's a vanishing time.
so a lot of the things we talk about, number one, it's kind of built into our class, into the course, the sense of self-compassion and self-care, right?
Absolutely.
So people learn during this course, if they haven't done it before, they set aside a period of time, like in the morning or in the evening, to do their practice. And after the course is over, sometimes people say, well, I might dial back on the practice a little bit, but I'm going to keep that time. I've got in the
Yeah.
habit of giving that time to myself, whether I'm having a cup of tea or doing yoga or whatever. I've learned the value of self-care. And the other thing I want to say, Teresa, is when I say commitment, I don't mean like boot camp commitment. I
No,
mean, commitment to stay open, to stay curious, and to try things, and have an open mind. It's not about you have to do this, regardless. We combine commitment with this idea of self care, to know that you're the final decider in terms of what you're going to do in any moment, and we're going to respect that because we want to support you, and make this something that you don't force upon yourself, that you really are able to explore and enjoy on your own terms.
I love that so much, Andy. That is just, I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I just want everyone to just take that home with them
Mhm.
and just think about it.
Yeah. And the other thing is, Teresa, we talk about some really important things, some really, you know, important things that are happening in our lives and how we work with them. And but that doesn't mean it's a doom and gloom kind of course.
No,
I'm a pretty upbeat person, and we have a lot of fun. And honestly, one of the biggest compliments I get is when people say, I actually look forward to this class every week. And I'm thinking, wow, they're very surprised at that, number one.
when they say I actually look forward to,
Yeah, they didn't think they would. But
goodness,
it turns out that every class we're doing something interesting that'll give them some new insights and some potential to see things differently.
I can definitely attest to that. I think that's wonderful. I think everyone needs this course. That's my opinion. But
Yeah.
like you said, You have to be ready, you have to be open, and you have to let it teach you, let it show you.
Right. Trust
That's,
the process.
yes, and trust the process. That's
Right.
amazing. Is there anything else you would like people to know about
Um,
you or your or this course or MBSR in general or anything at all?
well, how much time do you have?
Oh my goodness. Well, we can talk offline.
Well, the only thing I wanted to mention is just so people get a little bit more sense of myself. You talked about how, the fact that when you discovered this course, it's because you were burned out and you were looking, I'm guessing you were looking for something at that time to help you out. Is that right?
So many things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
many things.
Yeah. And the same thing happened to me, and my wife. As I said, when we took this course together, um, I was struggling with a lot of stress, especially at work, and my wife was having a lot of physical and physiological challenges, also due to stress and some physical accidents that she'd had,
Mm,
and it's been a very personal journey, you know, um, and that's what I think makes it really meaningful for me.
mm,
I don't just
yeah.
teach this course because it's a paycheck. And also another thing people should know is that I do other things. My career is all about mindfulness now. I mean, I work with some apps, I teach other programs, but this is really the course that I think touches people um, most deeply, and they're definitely the one that I enjoy teaching the most.
I love that. And for me, I mean, I never forgot my experience with that course.
Mhm.
So, and I have to tell you, I'm going to warn you in advance though, because if you're here in the next room, I may stick my head in once in a while, and I hope that's
I think that would be great. I would love to see you, and I'm
okay.
really looking forward to teaching in your space and within your community.
I am so looking forward to that too. So let's make that happen. And I look forward to just giving you a big hug when I see you.
Thanks so much, Teresa. Me too.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy.
Okay.